And my name's Hernández. I'm class of 2012, and I played football right here at Belen. Started playing football early on, really as long as I can remember. I'd been playing at the age of 5 or 6. I started playing at the Kendall Boys and Girls Club, and we had a really good group of close friends that played with us there and got to play with them my entire life. But growing up, but my plan was always to go to Columbus, actually, believe it or not. And it wasn't until around middle school that a lot of that core group of friends started going to Belen, that I even thought about the possibility of going to Belen. And so I decided to follow them there, and the plan early on was that I'd go to Belen for middle school and then transfer to Columbus. But as soon as I got there, I knew immediately it was the right place for me. And so I had that core group, and on 7th grade is when we first made the decision to start playing here at Belen. And we played all the way through high school. So it was a really cool experience to be able to come up with that group, come here to Belen and stay playing for the majority of our careers all the way through graduation. So we had a really good relationship with our teammates and coaches, and that really made the experience great here. And I think it also made us a lot more competitive too. With our teammates, it was a lot of people that I came up growing up with and playing with. And there's a lot of other people that we played against as well. And so you had a group of guys who had been playing for a long time, and we really trusted each other. We believed in each other. We pushed each other. And the coaches really believed in us as well. And I think the best story that kind of explains that, and I think Coach Stewart probably wouldn't want me to tell the story, is before we played Booker T, my sophomore year, the year of the state championship run, it was probably the biggest game a lot of us had ever played in. We were underdogs by about 20, 25 points. And we went into every game believing that we had a chance to win, but this game in particular felt big, and we knew that we were underdogs. And in the first practice of the week, Coach Stewart sat us down at the end of practice, and he said that he had been grocery shopping, and the bag boy saw that he was wearing a Belen shirt, and he told him that he went to Booker T and started talking trash to him. And I won't repeat Coach Stewart's exact response, but it started with a 4-letter word and ended with "we're gonna win." And it caught us off guard a little bit for a second, but I think it really just showed how much he believed in us, how much the rest of the coaches believed in us, and I think that really made the whole thing really special. Well, there's a bunch of moments that I say were especially memorable. I mean, I can name all the big games. I mentioned Booker T, upsetting Northwestern, beating Norland, the whole state championship run, the deep runs to the playoffs. You can't really replicate that emotion anywhere else, and so those, and I'll never forget. But some of the other moments that I really miss the most are kind of the in-between moments. The locker room celebrations after the games, the bus rides to and from the game, going to lunch before and after practice, just hanging out with the teammates and having that group that you're kind of coming up with and working hard with is something that I really miss a lot as well. So advice I'd like to give to aspiring athletes, I think a couple things. First is a lot of people really like to focus on the outcome. They think a lot about, how many games are we going to win? Are we going to win a championship? What colleges are going to be interested in me? And it's important to have that in mind. But you should really spend most of your time focusing on the process. What do you need to do to get better? Do you need to, do more workouts? Do you need to watch more film? Do you need to gain weight? Do you need to lose weight? Really focus on what is it you need to get better, and then be really consistent. It's easy to do 1 or 2 really difficult workouts in a given week. The hard thing is to show up every single day, but that's ultimately what's going to make you a lot better. So focus on getting the process right, and focus on being consistent once you have the process right. The other thing I'd say is there's a saying that goes that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And I like it a lot, and I think it's really applicable for sports as well. And I'd advise people to try and surround yourself with people that are bigger, better, faster, stronger than you. And don't worry too much about failing at the beginning. It's going to happen. Think more about how those people are going to make you better and how you can get to their level over time. It really feels great to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. First of all, it's extremely humbling. There's such a great list of student athletes that have come up through Belen. There's such a great list of people who are being inducted this year that have been inducted in the past. So I'm absolutely honored to even be part of that list. I think what's really been great as part of this process is getting to relive a lot of the memories with the people who made it so special. That's something I'm really grateful for, is being able to share those stories, look at old pictures, and have people come out. So that's something that I've really appreciated about this. First of all, I'd really like to thank my parents. I was fortunate to grow up with a mom who was a teacher and a dad who was my coach all the way through middle school. So my mom always kept me really grounded in academics and made sure that I was balanced and it wasn't all about football. At the same time, she was very supportive of me as a football player. I distinctly remember her on the sidelines at every game growing up with a camcorder, filming every game so that we can go and watch the film after to get better. My dad as a coach, my friends still call him Coach Frankie. He would always push us to get better during the season, but I think even more importantly, he really pushed us in the off season. And that started, way back when I was 5 or 6, but it carried on all the way through college. I remember going to Continental Park or going to the Key Biscayne Bridge and running there. And those workouts were often even harder than the workouts that we had with our teams in college or in high school. So that really carried on all the way throughout. I'd like to thank my brothers, Danny and Javi. They're my first teammates. They're my first competitors. We grew up making up just about any game that you can imagine to play in our living room. My parents didn't love it because we ruined a lot of furniture. But I think in those games, we gained a lot of the athleticism that carried us throughout the rest of our careers. It was also just really fun to have them come out and support me throughout my career, and also be able to watch them grow and compete throughout their careers as well. I need to thank my coaches here at Belen. Coach Eddie Delgado, I think, was really the first person to help me understand the kind of player that I could eventually become. As early as 8th or 9th grade, he moved me to a new position, to defensive back, which I ended up playing the rest of my career, and really challenged me to continue getting better my whole career. And I'm confident I wouldn't be the player that I ended up becoming without him. Coach Stewart as well, and by extension, the rest of the coaching staff here at Belen, they really believed in us. And, I've had a lot of great leaders throughout my life, whether it's coaches or teachers or managers. And I think the sign of a great leader is that they take the team and make them better than the sum of their parts. And that's really what they did here at Belen, starting with Coach Stewart. So if you look at, our roster compared to any other team that we played against, and you look at our height, size, and weight, you look at, the offers and interest we were getting from college, we had no business competing in a lot of these games. And because of the way that they believed in us and the way they led us, we were able to not only compete, but win a lot of those games. I'd like to thank my extended family, my grandparents, Awanani, Awanopepe, Awanaurito, my in-laws, Frank and Myrna, my cousins. They were a great support system throughout my entire career, not only here at Belen, but also in college. I played football in Hanover, New Hampshire, which is really not an easy place to get to. And I often had the largest family gathering or extended family gathering at those games compared to any of my other teammates. So it was always great to have them come out, and I'll never forget that. And then finally, I have to thank my wife, Carol, who has really been along for this whole journey pretty much. Starting in high school was when we first started dating, all the way through college, and she gave up a lot of time to come to a lot of the games, whether it was here or traveling while she was in college as well to New Hampshire. And she was there for a lot of the highs, which was great to experience that with her, but she was there for a lot of the lows as well, whether it was me getting injured or in senior year or losing really difficult games. So she was also just a really big part of that support system.